Welcome back to the Next Average Podcast, episode 19 of the Shelby Neck Average Podcast, or as we like to call it, Aw Snap. Today, June 19th, just 2 days after the NBA Championship, which we will go over holy crap, as well as our crews. But first, as always, we got to know where the hosts are standing. So, Nick, how's he doing?
Yeah, it's kind of been an up and down week, just kind of long from getting back to the cruise. Like we said,
Mm,
7-day cruise, which is why we didn't have an episode last week. And just kind of like the drive day and getting back into the swing of things, getting back to real life.
yep, for sure.
It's been a bit challenging, kind of having those 7 days away from all the druggies and homeless people that I encounter on the daily was very nice. And
Yeah.
don't for those of you who love the summertime shenanigans segment, don't you worry. I might have only worked 1 day this week, so far at least, but there's already stories. I already have a summertime shenanigans story lined up for you, so
Love
there's
it.
that.
Love it. And just so you guys know, he doesn't talk to me about that. So like I am learning just as much as you are every time he says it. So I get all giddy about it,
Yeah,
just knowing because I know the happenings of that store.
exactly. It's we like to hear what's genuine reactions. We like to
Exactly.
have genuine reactions. We don't want to hear something and then later on try to like,
Oh, what?
yeah, what? I had no
Whoa.
idea. Stuff
Yeah.
like that. We don't want to do
He
that.
does it. I specifically don't tell you things because I want to hear your live reaction on the pod. So I get that.
It was funny because at first it was funny how like it kind of hurt me and you talking to each other as well due to like not wanting to talk about sports as much and saving it for
Oh
this
yeah.
for the
Yeah,
genuine
in the
reactions.
beginning, we went from like being homies to like barely talking if it wasn't being recorded.
Yeah.
Like obviously now we kind of know like I'll just leave this out. It's okay. But yeah, before it was like just simple Snapchats and that's it.
Yeah, but obviously we've moved past that. Now we're actually to a comfortable spot to where we know what we can and cannot say with
Yeah,
each other.
exactly.
But yeah, I've been like I said, this is definitely in a test. Not gonna lie, but overall, glad to be back. Glad to have home cooked meals.
No
Glad
joke.
to be on a surface that is 1000% not moving.
Rock. Yeah.
Nah, that's not in the middle of the sea, and you're constantly asking if it's moving or not.
Hmm.
And but there is one thing about putting my head down on a pillow and not hearing the hum of an engine.
Yeah, which is so weird. It's still in our room. Now, granted, how much room do you think was in between us? Like 15, 20?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah, and the fact we didn't hear anything.
But yeah, so like I said, just trying to get back to the way of life before. And yeah, that's how I'm doing. Shelby, how are you doing on this
Dude,
fine Wednesday night?
so I'm thinking about going into Walmart real quick and getting some burn ointment because I have road rash on my ass for how much I'm dragging it this week. Coming back from such a long vacation, and today's my first day of work, but yesterday and Tuesday I've done so much. Like, I was busy my 2 days off, and coming back, driving all them hours Saturday. I mean, it was. I didn't really get a break. It felt like, and so I'm just dragging major ass at work and just life recently.
Yeah.
Like, I had ramen noodles yesterday. I had a bowl of cereal for dinner tonight. Then I'm pretty sure Monday I had. We tried to go to Taco Bell, but they ran out of meat, which is like, what the hell?
I mean, that's
But
in
they
like
didn't have any meat, so
literally
we got
everything.
McDonald's. Yeah, I know.
I mean, that's
I know.
the
Yeah, they're
main
like,
ingredient. Literally can't
well,
have
and here's the thing.
anything but like vegan options at that point.
Yeah, and chicken. But here's the thing. So
Oh, I did
I
forget the
ordered
chicken.
I ordered on the app, right? Because I was like, okay, our Taco Bell is a little
Of
slower
course.
where I'm at, and so I drove up, and they're like, just want to let you know we don't have any beef. And I just like looked at my mobile order, looked at my lovely girlfriend, looked back at the monitor, like, I have a mobile order. She's like, oh yeah, we're not able to do that. So can I get a refund? You'll have to take that up with the app. It's like, okay.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, no joke. So it's like, I mean, I feel like that would have been a nice thing to know or like put in your app or something, but maybe I'm just an asshole.
Well, especially because you, like, in the app, you have to choose your location.
Yeah, literally.
So I feel
Yeah,
like
that was
if
the
you
first thing I
choose that
did. Like,
location, it'd be like, bing, bing, bing,
hope you
bing,
like
bing.
chicken.
No beef, no
Ho-
beef. Bing, 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 no beef.
yeah, I hope you like chicken or cheesy roll-ups because that's about the only thing you'd get.
That's
I know. And
tough.
I was gonna try the new Cheez It fucking Crunch Wrap box
Mmm.
thing. I bet it's gonna taste like butt, but I was gonna try it. So yeah, that was disappointing. The Taco Bell in town always finds a way to disappoint me. Whether it's the
Yeah.
fact I was in there one time for legit like 45 minutes. And I just like, because, I'm a very patient guy, especially with restaurants like that. I don't know how their days are going and stuff like that. So I like to be kind of thoughtful. But I was just sitting in the main room because obviously, like I said, I order on the app. And so I'm just like there for pickup and I'm just keep looking, nothing. Look again, nothing. And this dude he saw me at the cash register, right? I sat down, got on my phone. He then took his lunch break with his family. Got done with that lunch break, came over to me and said, "Hey, can we help you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just waiting for a pickup order." He's like, "What's the name?" And I was like, "Shelby." He's like, "Okay." Goes through the monitor. "You're not in our system." I was like, I
Tough.
paid." Yeah, I was like, "I paid." He's like, "What did you get?" And I said, "I don't even remember." So I went back to my app and did that. He's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, so we'll start working on it now." They didn't even get it. And then, get this. So the guy who saw me, who like replaced the on break guy, so the second cash
Okay.
register,
Okay.
he recognized me, and so he went back to it. He's like, "What's the name?" I was like, "Shelby." He's like, "Oh yeah, it's right here." It was at the very bottom. Now, granted, did he lie to me? I don't know. I didn't see it, but it's just I was there for 45 minutes, and my food didn't even like got thought about getting made. So it's just that Taco Bell always has some bullshit it's on.
Yeah, since we haven't really gone out to eat, my mom really enjoys not necessarily cooking, but cooking for like 17 people when there's only 4 eating.
Mm,
So already, like, we did our like week of prep, like the week beforehand, where we made sure to not have anything that went bad, no leftovers in the fridge, scrounge for yourself for a couple nights.
uh,
And we get back, and immediately we have mac and cheese with hot dogs cut up, or weenie mac as I like to call it.
okay.
And she makes
Oh,
like a Cajun pasta.
oh
And
yes, dude. Your
that
brother
Cajun
loves that.
that Cajun pasta today, we had that Tuesday, and today there are still 6 lunches in there. Like 6 little lunch containers in the fridge.
Oh my god. Does your mom eat a lot of leftovers like that?
No. That's
Oh,
the
I didn't
bad
think
part,
so.
is that it is me, or I can't say bad part because I really enjoy leftovers, and I know my dad does
It's you
too.
and your dad just putting on for the
But
city.
it is just me and my dad having to go to work every lunch. Like
Oh yeah.
at this point, we're starting to like collaborate our lunches. He'll come home and we'll have like a little like meeting in front of the fridge and like, okay, well I can eat this if you want to eat that, and if you want to eat like half of this, I can eat the other half or like snack, or like if you take one of the breadsticks, I can take a couple breadsticks with me to work.
Yeah.
And so we're having to like game plan how we, because my mom cooks so much leftovers that like And she has this rule where nothing is allowed, like no leftovers are allowed in the fridge for more than a week. So like
Yeah.
me and my dad are really having to like sit down and strategize how we're wanting to do this, how we can eat 13 days of leftovers and 7.
So I'm really bad about that because like my cutoff is like 3 days. Like after 3 days, I'm afraid to touch it.
Mm. I haven't necessarily found my limit yet,
But I'm butter.
which that's not necessarily a good thing to say, and I get that, right? But yeah, between my mom d throwing out everything in a week, and obviously when I go up and live by myself, I plan every meal out to like the week, so I know how many meals I cook and what's gonna be left as leftovers and whatnot. So like leftovers only last like a day or two tops when I'm living by myself. So I have yet to find my limit of like when I won't touch something, but I feel like around the week would have to be like the smart answer.
Right. I so there was this little story time. What really like made me afraid of having leftovers in the fridge for a long time was I went over to my stepmom's, and this is me moving out. So anytime I get time to like eat someone else cooked meal, I'm like, ooh, yes.
Yeah.
And she's obviously your mom's sister, so she's kind of the same way where she used to make a bunch of leftovers. And so I saw that there was some Asiago chicken in there, or Asiago pork. I think it was pork. And I was like, oh, sweet. So I don't eat leftovers hot, like I don't warm them up, right? So I eat cold food. I know, seems weird. Try it.
No, it is
And
weird. You are
dude, it's so
the
much. I don't
you
like the
are
microwave because it just makes everything. The thing is, it doesn't get warm like stovetop warm. It gets edges 1,000 degrees, middle not warm, unless you
dude.
want to completely nuke it,
When
where everything gets
you
soggy.
when you came up to my college town to spend the night, I
Dude, them
swear to
wings
God,
were so
you
damn
were
good.
you cold wings at like 9 in the morning. I didn't get it.
Dude, they were so
That's
good.
that's so weird. I
Dude,
wake up to
it's
Shelby looking like Gollum in my corner of the
all right,
room,
all right. First
just
of all, fuck
scrumption
you.
down some fucking wings.
I did scrump because it was delicious. Dude, shout out to that wing place by your apartment. That place is good. We need to go again. But yeah, warm food because when you heat it up in the microwave, everything just gets soggy. It gets the same texture and it's just not good. Where if you have it cold, yes, it's not warm, but it also keeps the same flavor as from the stovetop. Where I know you've had food that's not as good this like second day as it was on the stove the first day, right? Now there are exceptions. Like I think spaghetti's one that gets better over time. I think lasagna is the one, and like those I will heat up. But even then, I don't put them in for like 4 minutes like you and your brother does.
Whoa,
I
I
just
do
put it in there.
not. I do not go 4 minutes. At that point, he's not doing it correctly.
I think your brother just does it to test the integrity of his fucking Tupperware because that Tupperware is fighting for its life.
It
But
comes
no,
out
I put it in
all
there for like 30 seconds, like just something to make it not hard, like not super hard, but not heat it up, and then I eat it that way.
nah, because with spaghetti, like lasagna is harder to do it this way. Because, well, actually, it's impossible to do it this way. But like any type of pasta or spaghetti or something, you heat it up and then you stir it around. You make sure that like the parts that are warm might go to the middle because I understand that, but the parts that are cold go to the outside because I understand that that's how microwaves work.
Yes,
You
yes.
gotta
But
stir it.
here's my thing too. I have this is gonna sound really out of context. I have a pretty sensitive mouth in terms of temperature. Like the
Wow.
hot is really hot. Like I will look at my girlfriend And I asked her, "Is it hot?" She's like, "Yes." I would just not eat for a few minutes. Like I don't do that.
Oh, my mom is
And
the worst
so,
with that. My mom is the worst with as soon as food is done off the stove, it could still be 350 degrees inside that pot or pan. As soon as that food comes off the stove, she's expecting all of us to like sit down immediately right away and start eating.
dude, Jewel's the same way. My girlfriend, I swear, her mouth has to be like feeling like the texture of a rat tail because she'll get something, eats it. I'm like, "Is it hot?" She's like, "Oh yeah," and then takes another bite. Like she is, she is a fiend for warm food. It's crazy. But back to my stepmom thing. So the Asiago pork was in the fridge for like 2 weeks. Like unlike your mom, she doesn't clean it out until it's time to like mass purge the fridge. And so I ate it. She's like, "What are you eating?" I said, "Asiago pork." And she's like, "We haven't had that in like 2 weeks." I looked at it. I was like, "Huh." It's like, well, I mean, tastes fine. So I take another bite. She's like, "Shelby." I was like, "Okay, okay, I'll throw it away." I was like,
That's when
and
you do the
granted,
like,
I was like
bleh.
halfways done.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
say
I was
that's
like,
when you
well,
like the.
whatever's gonna kill me is gonna kill me. Like, I might as well eat this. Might as well be full and die.
That's. I mean, there have been a few times, but it's not necessarily like fridge foods that I've found the expiration date on. It's mainly like canned goods. Cause like I'll come home
Oh
and eat
yeah.
like a chicken noodle soup or a can of ravioli or something from Chef Boyardee, and I'll plop it down and put it in the microwave. Mom will be like, "Did you look at the expiration date on that?" Or like right before I'm about to eat. So,
Like,
so I'm like, "No, like I don't necessarily look at expiration dates." And I looked on the can and it was like 8 months past the expiration date.
yep.
I was like, how do you get that way? How do you not think to yourself like, huh, that's that's been in there for quite a while. When does that go bad? Oh, 4 months ago?
Yeah, no joke. So I actually had a time like that happened somewhat recently, and it was at a gas station that you actually work at, but it was the one up in my town.
Okay,
So I got a little coffee from like a little middle section, like a bottle of coffee, like kind of like a Starbucks, but not that brand.
okay,
And so I grabbed it. I just want to try the coffee flavor because I always have like vanilla or caramel or mocha. I was like, I don't know what normal coffee tastes like when it comes to like these bottles. Because obviously there's a creamer and stuff in it to make it not black.
yeah.
So I bought it. I went to work, which was about 20 minutes. And I was working outside and it was hot. And so I opened it and drank some, right? And so I drank some. I was like, that's weird, but I just thought it was a coffee taste. So then I got about halfway done and your brother was talking to me. And for whatever reason, it's kind of like when you're in the bathroom, you didn't bring your phone, so you start reading shampoo bottles. So
Yeah.
I just look at the bottle of coffee and saw the expiration date. Right now, granted, this was like I don't know May, you know, like May, maybe April, like pretty soon,
Okay.
November. And I was like, huh, okay, November of last year. Mind you, it had dairy in it. It had milk. I mean, it like easily. It's not one of those things that's like, oh, well, it's just water and like coffee mix. Like it probably can't go bad. No, they're like there was creamer, milk in there, all that. And so I'm just looking at this bottle. I smell it, and I was like, it doesn't smell like bad, but it smells funky. But I don't know if it's because it's funky because it's not caramel, mocha, vanilla and it's just coffee, or if it's funky because it's from damn November.
You look at the bottle and your stomach just starts just
Yes, literally. Yeah, it was like I was fine, fine, fine. Realized what happened. My stomach's like, I told you, brain.
like,
I just started
oh,
feeling bad. Yeah,
we fucked up.
yeah. And
Oh.
so I told your brother. I was like, huh. He's like, what? I was like, this is from the or this expires in November, and he's like, Oh, well, good thing. And before he said good thing that's not for a few months, I said of 2023. He's like, what? This is 2023. He's like, how long did you have that? I'm like, I bought it this morning. So from now on, when I go to your gas station, I always check the dates on things.
That's tough because that's a newly opened place as well.
Yes, they didn't even open in
Yeah,
November.
that's tough.
Like, how did this? And it was front row, like front row. And like I said, I wasn't like in the actual cooler part. It was like in the middle part where like over by the roller foods and all that, you know?
Yeah.
So like boom, right there, freshly stocked, and they just like, yeah, fuck it, who cares? Someone's gonna drink it. They probably don't even know what coffee tastes like. Losers. Good luck.
Weirdos. Some weirdo's gonna get it and just think that it's not mocha, so it tastes funny.
Yeah, dude, it was yeah. And so I have many experiences with that. So after that, I check the expiration dates, or 3 days is my cutoff.
Yeah, I don't like to mess with dairy when it comes to that. Like when I look at like expiration dates for like milk or cheese, or I really like to mess with that. Really like to mess with that. Really like to mess with that very much.
I get so scared if I don't. So I'll get like a gallon of milk, and our family drinks the hell out of milk. But when it's just you drinking milk, it's a little harder to just drink it all the time.
Yeah.
And so if I buy a half gallon, I go through it. But if I buy a full gallon, it's a crapshoot. It's like it could expire, could be used, who knows. And so I have a bad tendency of smelling things before I eat it. I get it from my dad. My dad will smell everything. Like he can make it, and before he eats it, he'll smell it. I don't know what it is, and that kind of passed on to
Okay.
me. But because there's no smell in this world. Look, I've worked at a park. I've been maintenance at the park. I've cleaned up human shit off of walls. I cleaned diaper full like trash bags that have been left in the rain and heat in the summer. I picked up shit you not, a trash can full of baby diapers and two giant dead catfish that was left in the sun. And nothing gets my stomach more turning than spoiled milk. I hate the smell of raw milk. I hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it. Because when I was a kid, I was at my grandma's, and I'm used to because my dad drinks the hell out of milk, and so we never like had to like look at the expiration dates when I was a kid because it was always fresh. It was always like 5 days old, and so I'd get it. I got my milk from my grandma and drank it from the carton, right? Which is like a huge no-no, but when you're a kid, it's like, ooh,
Yeah.
this is nice.
Yeah.
I drank it, and clumps fell into my mouth. And ever since that moment, I threw up so hard. Ever since that moment, I am so scared of expired milk that, like, if the milk slightly smells not like fresh milk, or if it's been in there for like a week, I get scared and I don't drink it.
So I don't. Last year. Okay. Let me start where my brain can actually start the story. Last
Okay.
year was my first year living away from my parents.
Yeah.
And it was me and a roommate last year. And we go through the year, and me and him are at the very end cleaning everything out, trying to pack up everything. And we're cleaning out the fridge. And school got out in like May, right? And we're
Mm.
cleaning out the fridge, and there's a milk jug that had been pushed all the way to the back of the fridge when we're and like we hadn't seen it all year because it had been pushed all the way back, and like food was in front of it and stuff like that. And so I take it out, and like I'm holding the milk, and inside the gallon I can see the like chunks of milk, like
Uh,
like already formed and like swirling throughout the milk.
mm,
And it was so disgusting. And I turned the gallon to check the expiration date. Once again, school got out in May, and the expiration date was sometime in November.
yep.
So there was just 6 months were just a gallon. It was half a gallon because obviously the first gallon had been used when it wasn't expired,
Mm-hmm.
but it was just 6 months of half a gallon of milk just chunking it up in the back of my fridge. And I was so curious because like my fridge had never smelled or caught me off guard or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I took out and like I was also curious, and curiosity kills a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And curiosity killed my nostril hairs that day because I was curious. I was like, what does it smell like? I wonder. So
Oh.
I undid the cap. I will never forget that
Oh.
smell. That smell was awful.
It's so bad,
And
dude.
I honestly don't know like who to blame for that. I don't know if I was the one that bought the milk and just forgot about it. I don't know if he was the one that bought the milk and forgot about it because it was 6 months where neither of us knew this milk was in there.
No, the thing is mistakes happen. It's your fault for opening it up.
Oh yeah, oh no,
That's,
one thousand
yeah,
percent.
that's tough.
That's my fault for wanting to know what it smelled like because it smelled awful. I was the one that undid the lid,
Yes.
undid the cap. But I have
Yep.
no idea who put it back there for 6 months.
Dude, that's so fucking bad. God, it's so bad.
Well, that should probably be enough of us rambling on about food and spoiled milk
Mm-hmm. Love it.
and stuff like that. And to move on to one of my favorite segments that is new. I love summertime shenanigans at the station.
At the station, baby.
For those of you, it's been a couple weeks, maybe you forgot, maybe this was first time listening and whatnot. For those of you who don't know or don't remember, I work at a gas station for like a summertime job and winter break and stuff like that. But this gas station is in a what the company calls urban part of the city. Now, what does that mean
Mm-hmm.
to be in the urban part of the city? It means
Means you
that
see weird shit.
it means you see a lot of weird stuff. It's in a not so good part of town. There's a lot of homeless people, a lot of drug addicts, etc., etc. I worked yesterday for the first time since being back. It was weird to get back in the swing of things, but I was finally able to do it. I had a manager who came out from Derby to help us because our manager called out sick. And by the end of the shift, that manager said, I don't want to come back here because of all the weird things that you guys experience and just shrug off.
Okay. This sounds good.
He said that, and that prompted me. I was like, where's your store at? Well, his store is in a different city, but it's a good city.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's on the so this is what happened at about mm, 8 o'clock, 8:15 ish yesterday. As my manager was up at the register, checking people out, I was running throughout the store, making sure that, cups were filled, lids were filled, the store looked clean, everything was facing forward, making the store look good and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And there is this woman that walks into the store, and she's the type that, like, you could look at her and say, oh, yeah, that's a homeless drug addict.
Okay.
Hair was fringy, teeth were all messed up. She walked in, looked like she weighed probably 50 pounds.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Just a whole lot of woman.
And as she's walking throughout the store, she decides to tell everybody about her life, what she's up to, and some information that she 1000% knows what happens.
Okay.
And so there's no preface to this. There's a little mumble going on throughout the store. This lady gets to the middle of the store, starts yelling, I have higher credentials than the people in the Pentagon.
Oh, what a lovely start.
Oh,
You know,
yes.
if they look like drug addicts and they bring up government, you're in for a show.
That was the first thing she said, is I have higher credentials than the people in the Pentagon. Now, automatically, I look up at the front counter to the manager. The manager looks towards the back towards me, and automatically we're just thinking, oh no. Because there's two types
Okay.
of people like that, that are homeless and drug addicts and whatnot. The ones that want to keep to themselves and not bring like unwanted eyes towards them, and the
Uh,
ones that just unnecessarily yell things.
yeah.
So, like I said, she starts yelling, I have higher credentials than the people in the Pentagon. And so automatically, like you said, once they start to bring up government, oh boy, here we go. And then she starts to walk around, and she once again stops and goes, you know, all of you guys are lucky. I get my head cut off and I just randomly respawn in places.
Okay.
What? Like, what? What? What makes you think that? It, what?
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
But the best quote she had, once again, middle of the store yelling at everybody. This one, she waited until she came up to the register where my manager was and
Or
I was at this point.
I was gonna say, and I assume where you're at. Okay.
Yeah, where I was up because it took her a little bit to get the things that she wanted, and she somehow had the money for them. I'm very shocked, but she did.
Okay.
But now this one, she wanted to whisper. This one was very, very highly secretive information. Only stuff that people who have higher credentials than the people in the Pentagon would know.
Now, I think I'm speaking for the audience, but I am at the edge of my seat.
She leans in and she goes,
Okay.
there are people out there that like to kidnap babies and turn them into murderers. And and here's the big part. So every 5 years there will be one baby that will become the chosen one of the murderers, and they will murder more than the others. Okay,
Okay.
okay, lady.
Did she
What
say
is
like this is the fifth year? What
no,
what is the importance of that?
no? She didn't say this is the 5th year. She didn't say what year it was. It was just every 5 years. And so we're like, okay. As I swear, there are people that kidnap babies and turn them into murderers. I swear. My first reaction wanted to be like, are these baby murderers the ones cutting off your head? Is
I
is
mean,
this
fair.
is this where you're coming from? But after that, she just started mumbling to herself and walked off. And I was like, okay,
Okay.
well,
Yeah, fair enough.
there we
Thank
go.
you for the heads up, I guess.
Yeah, thank you for letting me see what somebody with higher credentials than the people in the Pentagon would look like. So now I have a mental note for who to look for.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you for telling me very highly classified information that babies are being kidnapped and turned into murderers. Really makes my 7 hour shift here at this convenience store go
At the station.
so much quicker.
So how early on was this into your shift?
So I said that this was at 8:30 at night. So I had already worked
Okay.
like 5.5, 6 hours. 8:15, I think, is what I said. So
Okay. Okay.
somewhere in between
So
5 and
going
6 hours.
forward, do you like it when the craziness happens in the beginning of your shift or towards the end of your shift?
I prefer it to be towards the end of the shift because
Okay.
then you can look at the clock and say, I only have to deal with this for X
That's true.
amount of more hours.
That's true.
Like, I only have
It's
to
not
deal
like
with
you look
this.
up, it's like, damn, I've been here for 26
Yeah,
minutes.
like I've been here for an hour. I still have 6 more hours to work, and there is shit all over the floor of the bathroom. Like, I would much rather it happen at the end, so in that way you kind of had that little hope where it's like, maybe I won't have to deal with this again, which never pans out. There's always another person that I have to deal with. And
That's fucking funny.
yeah, I don't. There was also somebody who walked in with like a sword.
A sword?
A sword.
Like
Like not
a
a
sword?
like not a katana, but like a sword that like a knight would use, like a double-edged sword.
Okay.
For no reason. Like he came in, the sword was strapped to his backpack, and I just looked at it and was just watched him the entire time. And then he went to the back, and I went, "Oh, I have to go do something in the back." And my manager went, "Well, you should probably wait a little bit. There is the dude with the sword in there." And yesterday there was also somebody who came in with a snake around their neck, which that was kind of interesting.
Nice.
So I
Okay.
wanted to, once again, wanted to like, sir, is that a service animal? I don't know if we should allow a live adult snake in the convenience store. I don't think that, or a gas station. I
how
don't think
how
that should be
big do you
allowed.
think this snake was?
It was a pretty big snake.
Dude came in with a bow. Oh, dude, I really need some.
I mean,
Really need some Doritos.
he was probably my height, probably 6 feet tall. And the
Okay.
snake laid all the way down, and it was around his neck and went from like around belly button to belly button.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was a pretty big snake.
Oh my god. Dude, homie, write it in?
It I was holding the door open, trying to clean the glass door that we have with all the fingerprints and whatnot, and I look over, and
Uh,
like the snake's just like staring at me as he's walking in the building.
like as if it was one of the fucking Horcruxes or something.
Yeah, yeah,
That's terrifying.
that
Was it
was
one of those
something
you
that
had to
like
like do like a double check on? Like, wait, what? What?
well,
Huh?
because it was so big that at first I thought it was like a stuffed, like I thought it was like a stuffed animal. Like I didn't think it was a real snake, and then I saw its head moving. So it was, yeah, oh, okay. Well, that's a live snake in a gas station. Okay. Love to see it.
And that's huh. It's so funny because I look at the people who bring like their dogs, and I don't mean like service dogs or anything like that. I mean like walking their pug through Walmart, and I'm just thinking it's like, why would you do that? Like, what makes you think you're so special that you can just bring your whole ass dog in and like just let it walk around, you know? And then homie does it to a snake. Because here's the thing, I assume he drove to this gas station, right?
I would hope
Like,
so, but at the end of the day, there are always like 4 or 5 unattended bikes on the outside of the gas station. So,
that'd be even worse. You're just like you stop and like
I don't.
at the corner of the street. There's a damn mongoose with a damn boa on the dude's neck.
I don't know if he walked to the gas station. I don't know if he rode a bike. I don't know if he drove a car. I'm just glad he left, if I'm gonna be honest.
I like to think he wrote it in as if he was like a magic carpet.
Ah, it's like It's like Dune.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've
it's like Sanjay and Craig.
the Dune
That's the
movies where Paul Atreides has to ride the like earth snake or the earthworm.
yeah, maybe.
That
I don't
would
know. Was it big enough to do that?
I mean it might as well have been.
Dude, that's pretty crazy. I mean, 6 foot, so your torso is probably, I don't know, let's say 3 foot. Let's just cut it even. That's at least like a 6'2" snake.
I would say belly button to belly button, so it was a little
Around the
less.
neck. Yeah.
So I'd say about 4 foot snake, maybe 5 feet. 4 foot to 5 foot snake.
That's that's pretty good, dude. That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, no, and he's just casually strolling in a gas station with it. I wouldn't have been shocked at that point if I'd have looked over and the snake was also taking a drink
He
out
just
of like
like
his
eating
cup that he
all of the
got.
rollers. Just like, ugh, ugh. Like the snake
The,
is just on the roller, just eating everything. It's
I
like,
look over and the snake's devouring one of the styrofoam
yeah.
cups. 32-ounce styrofoam cups, whole.
It's like, no, not the large.
Like, man, come on, I just stocked those.
Yeah. Just eating all of the monster energies. He's just gonna go just start punching his snake wife.
I just. There's so many Monster Energy full cans inside the snake. It just looks like a sock at this point.
Yeah,
A
it's just
sock that has been filled
one
with just
thickness.
cans.
Dude, that thing would be deadly. I don't think there's much more deadly in this world than a boa constrictor hyped up on 6 cans of monster energy.
Monster Energy. Don't forget about the Newport Short cigarette hanging out of his mouth. That'll really add the
Mm,
cherry on top.
dude, yeah, yeah, that's
You
just
know.
begging for like domestic abuse or something.
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, to quote Theo Vaughn, he doesn't go home to punch.
Makes you
That
wanna
snake
kick
might
a
grow
fat kid in the
arms.
Kmart.
Yeah, that snake might grow arms just to beat people.
So yeah, those are the things that happened in one day.
Yeah, one
One day,
7 hour
not the
shift, mind you
yeah,
guys.
1 7 hour shift. Not a
Nick damn near took on the boa constrictor that lives in the Amazon. That's like
I was
26 feet
yeah,
long
I was
with
face to
nothing but
face.
a can of Mountain Dew and NOS in his left hand.
I was face to face with a full grown snake with nothing but buffalo chicken bites and Dr. Pepper. And of
You're so
course
brave.
the dude coming in with a night sword was pretty interesting, but top story to me's got to go to the random drugged out lady that had higher credentials in the Pentagon, and she proved it by telling us the conspiracy theory, or not a conspiracy theory,
No, I
about
would
the
say there's no.
factual
I
evidence,
was like, there's
the
no
factual,
theory about
yeah,
this.
the factual statement about how people kidnap babies to turn them into murderers.
You should ask for an example. Like who? And she's gonna be like,
Oh, like who?
I was like, do you see that guy over there? That's one of them. It's like, what
Points
are
to
you
my
talking
coworker.
about?
Points to my 16-year-old coworker. That's one of them.
That's what's crazy is the fact that they expose young ass people to this. Like, no
And
16-year-old needs to do this.
there's a 16-year-old that works there and a 17-year-old that works there, and it's just I'm so sorry because it's their first store as well because we can there's a form that we have to fill out and it takes time and whatnot, but there's a process to like exchanging or going to like different stores and whatnot. But
Hmm.
this was like their store where like they just got done training and they just got like sent to this store. So this is the only quick trip that this is the only gas
They've
station
realized,
that
yeah.
they've only worked at.
The thing
I
is
just
if they
name
make
dropped
it
right
to the
there,
next
and
one,
I'm
they're gonna be like blessed. I mean, they're gonna be
oh
like,
yeah,
"What?
oh
That's
yeah,
it?
yeah. They're gonna if
Don't
they
have to
ever
deal with
yeah if they ever transfer
things going."
stores, huh? They're gonna look at the outside world and be like, oh my god, it's actually beautiful out here.
Yeah.
It doesn't smell like Lucky Strikes and exhaust fumes from every
And
car
math.
known to man, and meth.
Yeah. They're like, wait, so you're telling me it's not normal for two ladies to jackhammer power thrusts in front of the deli and have a dude with a sword and a snake and extreme credentials, all different people?
I just thought it was so funny that a manager from a different store came in and was like, "You guys shrug off the weirdest things." Well, when they happen regularly, that's what
Yeah.
you got to
He's
do.
like, actually, I have a podcast about this.
I'm actually now having video evidence of multiple different stories.
Yeah, each week too. Like there've been like each week you only work what 2 days?
Yeah. So far,
Yeah,
I've
each
I've
week
worked two
you've been
days,
having at least one good story.
and we're gonna hope to keep it up because the gas station that I work at is like that.
Is urban.
It's urban. Let's go.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have any crackhead stories. My
There
work
is there is
is
one
safe.
story that I absolutely love that you and my brother were telling me on like the first day when you had to deal with a customer who like could barely move one of her hands and
Oh
like could
my
barely
god.
talk, but she was
Yes.
obsessed with like some like liquid that
Yes.
you put on the
So let me elaborate. So I work at a propane company, right? And this was like October when your brother started. And I was running bulk because which bulk is where you have to fill up customer houses for gas. So like these people mostly live in like kind of outside of town kind of vibes like it. So it was your brother's first day, right? And I was telling him, and we had a route, right? And as you know, when it's cold, days get a lot longer because people use propane to heat up their houses and whatnot like that. So I I look at it and I'm like, oh man, today's gonna be a long day. He's like, yeah. I was like, yeah, today's gonna be. I was like, we'll go and start at our furthest one and then work our way in. That way, we'll be closer to reload and all that because we have to reload 3 times. Mind you, our tanks are like 3,000 gallons, right? So I'm going to be putting out about 7,000, 8,000 gallons worth of propane. So we went out to this house, right? Kind of, like I said, kind of out of the city. Probably about a 35-minute drive to us. So we came out, and on the notes on our tablets kind of is the one that tells us our delivery, like some site notes, like some things you need to do when you get there, blah, blah, blah. In the description, it says, customer is deaf, honk on arrival, which already tells me exactly what I need to know about this place. Because how the hell is she supposed to hear us if she's deaf? So on the notes, usually it's lists the woman's phone number. I called her, no answer, so I texted her. I was like, okay, whatever. I said, hey, when you get this, I will be back in about an hour because I had some more stops around her place. I was like, I'm not going to sit here because we have a bunch of stops. So we went, drove him around. She called me about my next stop, and she's like, "You didn't fill up my gas." I was like, "Yeah, you're right. The gate was closed." And she's like, "It's open now." I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna finish up what I'm doing, and I'll be over there in about 30 minutes." And she's like, 30 minutes. I was like, "Yes, 30 minutes." She's like, okay, like all like pissed off, like kind of like, what are you gonna do? So on my way back, mind you, your brother is just laughing because he just this is like I said, his very first day, right? And it was pouring down rain, just a wonderful like welcome to the business moment. So we get in there and she lives off a dirt road. And right ahead of this dirt road was like this oil facility, right? So there's like gravel roads and all that, but her house was obviously like dirt. So mind you, it was raining all day, right? And this was probably about an hour since I got in. So probably like 8:30, 8:40, somewhere around there. And she came out wearing this bright pink hoodie, her wearing pajama pants, which is fine, you're at home, whatever. But she looks like a damn crackhead because she came out, she's like halfway like how do I explain this? Like she's walking but kind of hobbling too, but she's not fat, she's kind of skinny. She just all beat up like that. Her hair's an absolute mess. Her skin's just look like it's all picked to shreds. And she's waving me in, right? Because I'm backing up. And I was like, okay, cool. So I back up and she told me to keep going. And the ground was obviously like soft. I was like, no, I'm not going to keep. This is what I'm going to call it. So I stopped. She comes out. She's like, you ain't supposed to stop. I was like, yeah, I know. I drove back because it looked like it was getting soft. She's like, yeah, I was waving you on. I was like, yeah, I know. I was like, I feel more comfortable here. And she's like, yeah. And she like storms off in a puff and like goes towards the propane tank, which is behind her house. So, I get the hose reel, do that, put up the hose on my back, start walking out. And she comes up and her propane tank looks rickety as hell. And so when we come up, I put it on. She's like, the guy you put the pink stuff in, the pink stuff in there in a bubble. It's like, what? And I swear on my life, that's what she sounds like. Just a bunch of like, bubbles, pink stuff.
I don't know if it's your voice or if it's how she sounds or whatnot, but I'm just imagining like there was a South Park episode where Cartman got left on a cross for like 3 days. And that's exactly what I'm imagining. I'm imagining just like a
she kind of sounds
girl,
like
skinny
Cartman. Yeah. Crackhead, remember?
Oh,
That's
okay,
very
yeah.
vital to the story.
Yes, it is.
And so her knuckles, oh my God, like each knuckle look like damn cherries because they're just so swollen with carpal tunnel. And so this woman loved the bubbles because when propane's leaking or anything like that, you spray like a leak detector solution on it and it'll come up. And if it's leaking, there's bubbles. So she's like, it stops the leak. I was like, no, it doesn't stop the leak. That means there is a leak. You put the bubble and stop the leak. The bubbles, and she's like moving her hands as if she's like gripping like a damn like a softball over this valve that I'm supposed to be putting this damn gun on. Just the whole time, just telling me to put the pink stuff in. And I was like, okay, how about this? I was like, I will fill it up and then I'll spray it afterwards. That's my sign of, please let me go, woman. Just trying to do my job. And so I have your brother. I'm like, hey, can you go get the leak detector? He's like, okay. I was like, I don't know, just do it. And so he storms off. She follows him the whole time, I guess. And of course, this is like fourth wall because this is everything, all the information I learned afterwards. But the whole time, she's like, the big stuff and make the bubble. just hobbying, like, when Golem's like talking to himself about the ring. That's what I imagine she is with the pink stuff to him. So he finally comes over. I fill up the tank. We spray it in, and it leaks. And I was like, okay, that's like, we're gonna have to address this. Da da da. It's like, you put the pink stuff in, and then make a bubble. Like just getting more and more like just crazy about this damn leak detector. And so I'm like, okay, like, I'll put you on schedule to get it fixed. So I go to my truck. She's following me the whole time, just, again, squeezing that softball, just pink stuff, bubbles, pink stuff, bubbles. I get in my truck. I go to put it in gear. Sure as shit, wheels just spin. Don't move. So I look at your brother. And I'm like, are you kidding me? We are stuck at the crazy woman's house in the pouring rain. And so, bless her heart, because at the end of the day, she did mean well. She just absolutely nuts. So she gets these decorative rocks, right? Like these little skinny rocks, like, with skipping rocks, like how
Yeah.
they need to be flat. I shit you not. These rocks are probably maybe an inch thick, like maybe.
Nice. Let's
And so
go.
she gets to these rocks, starts digging. I mean, just digging with a shovel right in front of my tire. And she is going to town. She puts these tiny little, like, not thicker than a notebook, rocks in front of this 30,000-pound vehicle. And she's like, no, no! And she's like signaling me forward. And I just look at Chet. I look at your brother, and I mean, he is laughing his damn ass off. Because it's like, of course, right? Of course it'll be our luck. So I go, and just to humor her, we don't move because we're stuck. We're not stuck on the mud in front of us. We're stuck on the mud under us. And so then she gets a hammer. Don't know why. She should not own a hammer. But then she starts beating in these rocks underneath my tire. And I'm like, dude, I got to stop her. Like, she's going to poke a hole. And I was like, and that's the last thing I need. And so your brother's like, here, how about we do this? How about I talk to her? I talk to her, and you call a wrecker to come get us. I'm like, okay, come. So I'm on the phone with the wrecker, and it's like a damn cartoon, when there's zero voices, just a bunch of music. That's what I imagine is going on, like, out there. Because your brother's trying to talk to her, saying, hey, like, it's fine, you don't need to do that. And she's just like, and she's just digging more and more and beating this damn rock in. And so I got hold of the wrecker. The wrecker's not going to be there for another 45 minutes. And so I'm like, okay. So I went out there and told her, hey, like, it's fine. I have a wrecker. They're on the way and stuff like that. She's like, oh, don't worry. I'll get my neighbor to come out. I was like, no, it's fine. Like, I have the record. They're on their way now. And I told her I already paid, which wasn't true. But I was like, please just go inside. Because, mind you, it's pouring rain. So she is drenched and sweating her ass off because she is, like, going to town on this shovel. So about 10 minutes later, this damn F-150 comes up. I mean, like a step above a Ranger, like a Ford Ranger, comes up with like this little tiny chain, like a chain that like a dog would have. He's like, hey, heard you guys are stuck. I was like, yep. He's like, yeah. She told me that you guys were stuck, but she didn't say it was a big truck. I said, yeah, we're pretty big. He's like, well, we can try it. I was like, nah, it's fine, dude. It's okay. And so finally the record came, and it was like, just a good story. And they pulled us up probably 15, 20 feet onto like the dirt road, and so we're able to go and blah, blah, blah. I paid whatever it is. And finds out, I looked at the receipt. They charged us $900. $900. So I shit you not, to winch us up 20 feet. And yeah, and forevermore, she will live on as the Bubbles.
Say, I always know her now as you put the big one in the bubbles.
Yeah, Bubbles. Me and your brother was on that shit for like 2 weeks. Like anytime we said anything, it was a beach up.
Anytime I get some sort of lady like crackhead lady that walks into the store, I always think you put the big one in the bubbles.
Dude, she was a goddamn nutcase. She's a damn nutcase. And when I was telling Jason, shout out to you, Jason, when I was talking to him, he's like, oh, the crazy girl. He's like, yeah, did she ask for the bubbles? I was like, oh my God. He just automatically knew exactly what we're talking about. Yeah, she lives in this town just a little bit. If you take a left here. I was like, yep, that's the one. I was like, yep, that's the one we got stuck at. He's like, you guys got stuck there? I was like, oh, yeah. So, yeah, it's the very infamous Bubbles.
Bubbles.
As long as you
As
say
Bubbles.
the belly.
Yeah, she will be known as Bubbles.
No, Devils.
Yeah. Bubbles.
You put the picture of the Bubbles. It's like, what the saying?
Well, so now that we've heard a couple crackhead stories from me, a crackhead story from you, it's time to get on to the cruise that we went on.
Cruise, baby.
7-day cruise. Left from Galveston, Texas. Went down to Honduras.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of the town.
Rotan or Mahogany Bay.
Yeah, Roatan, Mahogany Bay.
Oh, is it Rotan? Okay.
I think so. And then we went up to Costa Maya, and then lastly Cozumel, and then made our way back to Galveston, Texas. 7-day cruise, three excursion days, 4 days, technically at sea. It's more like 3 days at sea, realistically. But I had a lot of fun on this cruise. What about you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I had tons of fun. It was my first cruise. I told everyone, just like everything, there's pros and cons to a cruise, but definitely the pros outweigh the cons, in my opinion.
Yes. We get on the cruise. Day one, all the waiters are around. They're constantly asking if we want drinks or whatnot, and me and Shelby, of course, prefacing this by saying we are of age. We are both 21 years or older.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, so much alcohol.
So much, dude.
So much alcohol.
I think I was pissing rum.
Oh, it was fun, and then it just got too much.
Yeah, I am ready to not take another drink for a few weeks at least.
Because the first day, everything's getting hot. First, let's start off before we're even on the boat. We leave my house around 1 or 2 in the afternoon. Drive all day and a lot of the night too. Don't get into the hotel that we're staying at until about 1 or 2 in the morning. So, I mean, it's already been like a 12-hour day and whatnot. So we get to the hotel, we walk in, it is a goddamn furnace in that room.
Oh my god, it was so goddamn hot.
We walked into the
I forgot about.
We walked into the hotel room, and it was 77 degrees in there, heat on. Immediately, we had to switch that up.
Yeah, in Houston, Texas.
Because we were in a sauna.
June.
Yeah, we were in a sauna at that point.
I don't know what fucking lizard was in there before us, but it was not okay.
And so after that, we all, like I said, got into the hotel around 1 or 2 in the morning. Oh, excuse me. We have to wake up around 6 or 7 to wake up, eat breakfast, finish the drive, make sure we get onto the boat in time. So all of us are running on like 5 hours of sleep at this point. And we board the boat, and now we go through processing and checking and passporting and all the fun stuff to prove that we are legal U.S. citizens and that if we leave the country, we can in fact come back.
Very important.
Yes, very.
Arguably more important to be able to get back on than it is to get off.
Exactly. And so after that, we all get on the boat. Immediately, like, spirits are high. We're all thinking, it's vacation. This is so cool. We're all already starting to order drinks and whatnot. Probably 30, 40, or 45 minutes in, my dad says, I want a pitcher. Give me a pitcher of margaritas that we as a family can share. It starts off with 2 of them, actually. And then before we know it, a third one lands at our table, and then a fourth one. And at that point, we would just want food. Because once again, we boarded the boat at we woke up at 7, probably boarded the boat around like 10 or 11. Is maybe 1 or 2 by the time that our family had killed individual drinks and slammed down 4 pitchers of lime margaritas.
Yeah.
And so we're all eating food, and then it hits everybody. The 5 hours of sleep that we're on, every single one of us in the family just bleh. I'm gonna go to the room and take a nap. And so that's what we did. I think that's what all 12 of us did. This was a big family vacation. 12 of us went. So day 1 it already started. We came up for dinner and whatnot. There's a buffet that the cruise ships do as like a nightly dinner thing. And then once again, we all just woke up from our naps and whatnot, so we all eat and then go to bed right afterwards. Day 2, our first full day at sea. This is where it gets fun. Because this is where our drink packages that we had bought kick in. Now, for drink packages, it means that there's a certain limit of drinks that we get for free. Now, the drinks, you're probably thinking, it's alcoholic drinks. It's a certain amount of that you get free. A lot of these are very stingy and whatnot. A lot of these companies are stingy. Probably thinking maybe 6, 7, 8 drinks for free. No, 16.
Was this? I thought it was 15.
15 or 16.
Regardless, a lot of goddamn drinks.
A lot of drinks. And it didn't help that every time I was thinking, I'm thinking just like a Dr. Pepper or something. In my ear, I get my own dad going, don't let them win. They already have our money. Don't let them win. Ugh. Okay.
I never really partied with your dad, I guess. This is my first experience with all that with him.
Same. This is the first time I've realistically sat down and had alcoholic drinks with my dad and my mom.
Yeah, dude. With
they
just seeing
throw down.
Dude, they make high school Shelby look like a bitch. I mean, they drink to kill some stuff, dude.
Because you'd wake up or they'd wake up and have a drink at 8 in the morning, and have drinks all throughout the day, and then finish it off with a drink at midnight as well. So there's constantly drinking for 14 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, it's can you guys slow down? And like you said, don't let in.
Yeah,
He's you need to have at least 6 to even out the drink packages. I don't want 6.
By night 1, my dad said that he had 14 drinks throughout the day. And the margaritas that you were getting were stout.
Yeah, they're pretty knocking on your ass.
And so I was shocked. And then the second day, and then to end out the second day, it was elegant night. So we all kind of brought a fancy outfit or whatnot. A fancy cruise outfit, I should say. Now, when you go on cruises, a lot of the 6 out of the 7 days are going to be swim shorts and maybe a shirt. Maybe. I mean, you can get away with just swim trunks and covering the privates and whatnot. But this is where
I have swim trunks that only expose the privates.
Where
it's like a hole. It's like a glory hole before viewing.
People bring out dresses and polos, and some people wear suits and stuff like that.
There was a lot of three-piece suits I was
There
not
was a
expecting.
lot of tuxedos and three-piece suits I was not expecting, and like prom dresses
Yeah.
that
I
I
was
was
like,
not
oh, okay.
expecting. But it was elegant night. We got to take a lot of pictures with all 12 of the family members. Got to go around, choose what
Mm.
backdrop we wanted. There were professional photographers all over the place. It's pretty cool. And then we ate dinner and ventured off into our separate ways. Day 3 was another full day at sea. Once again, wake up, parents already 3 or 4 drinks deep. Oh my god, how? And so like the entire day I just feel like I'm trying to like catch up with them and it's not working at all.
Mm-hmm.
But day 3, once again another full day at sea, spent the day on the boat, had some fun. Tried to go up to a ropes course that they had. It was really windy that day.
It's
Storms,
windy.
yeah, it was freaking windy. Storms were coming in. The obstacle course was getting wet. They had to shut down. Me, Shelby, and my brother all went. Oh, okay. So of course we
Yeah,
went.
I went exactly.
Yeah, and so of course we all went back inside to get out of the rain and had more alcoholic beverages and had fun.
Yep.
Day. So technically, first
4.
day was, yeah. So day 4 was our first excursion. The first day that the boat docked in Honduras, Roatan or Mahogany Bay. And the excursion that we went on was like a little boat trip with a seafood boil at the end to let us know
Mm.
about how Honduras shares the second largest coral reef in the world, which was really cool, and
Yep.
about all the like wildlife that they have out there, and we got to see like the really blue river, and we got to see the ocean and stuff like that. It was really cool trip.
Yeah. Learned about mangroves and
Learned
benefits
about
and
mangroves. That's what
those.
I was thinking of that I couldn't remember. Learned about mangroves. And then afterwards, we had a seafood boil that was good, except for this seafood boil
Except
had crab, but
crab, good.
they did not give us anything to break the legs.
No crab breakers. Bad.
Yeah. So the entire time we're me and my family are coming up with creative ways to break these crab legs. Shelby did it the manly way, as I like to call it.
Uh-huh.
Do you want to explain what that is?
Oh, that's just you just put it between your fingers and you just grip. You grip it and rip it. You just push down with your thumb as hard as you can on the skeleton, pierce through, and then you pick through the fragments of crab that you just shattered, and then get very little meat.
And so that was how Shelby did it. Me, on the other
Uh,
hand, I don't have that good a grip strength, so that was not an option. What I did was I put the crab on the wooden table, and I would hammer fist it and use the side of my fist and just hit it as hard as I could. And that worked for for 5 out of the 6 pieces of crab. That sixth piece was the very last piece. My hand had already been kind of hurting, but I was like, it's the last piece. It's not going to win. I hit it, and I just felt just pure shock go all up my hand and even up my forearm some. And I hit it, and I went, woohoo! And my girlfriend that was sitting next to me at the time goes, "Are you good?" And I went, "No."
Can confirm. Did happen.
And she was like, "Well, I mean, it's one piece left." And I was like, "I know it's one piece left. I can't let it win." And then after like 5 minutes, then I just went, "Shelby, can you help me break this piece open?" And I admitted defeat because that crab, had won in one punch.
Now, in your defense, I think didn't I break it, but I had to like put it up against the table, and, like
Yeah.
pry down on it. Like it was
You said
pretty
it.
beefy.
Yeah,
Like it
you
wasn't.
said it dented the table, the wooden table.
Yes, yes.
So
I
that
mean,
made me
it
feel a
like
little
like I
better.
said, it was pretty beefy. Yeah, it wasn't like Nick was just being a panoche. I mean,
And then
that
I
thing
think
had some bones to it.
I think the worst part about that is after all of us get done eating our crab legs and we're all starting to feel pretty full, then my aunt, Shelby's stepmom, and my mom, or I should say, turn around with a basket and go, "Oh, here's like a wooden hammer and a thing to break your crab legs open."
After, mind you, they had to have heard us struggling with these crabs. They had to have. There's no way they didn't. Because not like we were being like, 007 agents about it. I mean, like, it was hurting. Even me, like, the little fragments was like going in my thumbs, so I had to like pick them out. Nick had had red dots on his hand because of where he hit the crab. I mean, like, we were put through the ringer. And then it's like they just, you know what I bet it was? I bet your dad was watching. He's like, hey, they're about done. Let's see.
Probably.
Let's tell them how stupid it was. If you would just ask for one, they would have given it to you.
Probably.
My thought was, I thought Honduras people were just built different. I was like,
I did
damn.
too. I did too, honestly.
It's like, dude, these not fucking strong.
Yeah, so then we finished our seafood boil with hurt hands and thinking that Honduras people are built like Superman when it comes to breaking crab legs. And then we moseyed on to a little factory where we learned how they make chocolate
Okay.
from like the cacao stuff, beans. And I don't know what the like outer shell is called because I know like you have to break open something to get to the cacao beans. But we learned that process. We also learned how they make like coconut oil and stuff like that, which was really cool. They gave us samples and whatnot to try and test
Yeah,
out and all
coconut.
that stuff.
Yeah, coconut oil nuts, dude.
And then after that, we all pretty much just shopped at the little excursion place that had all the stores and whatnot. Shelby
Mm-hmm.
went to the beach for a little bit.
Went to the beach.
Me and my girlfriend did not. Honduras kind of bamboozled us, thinking that the beach was just going to be easily accessible at all places. Since it was the first stop, I figured, well, if it's easily accessible here, it'll be easily accessible at other places. That was not the case. We'll get into that later. But after that fun day, we all got back on the boat and headed off to Costa Maya. Now, at Costa Maya, this is where kind of the family really split off from each other. At Honduras, all
Mm-hmm.
12 of us went on the same excursion. We all hung out with each other. At Costa Maya, this is where we kind of split off. Some family members went to go do their own excursion. Other family members wanted to go shopping. Some family members just wanted to go chill at the beach. Well, I was one of the family members that wanted to go chill at the beach. It was me, Shelby, my girlfriend, my brother, and my brother's girlfriend. 5 of us were venturing along, going shopping, and then heading to the beach. Turns out the beach is an excursion. It's not a free beach day. We'd have to pay $60 each to go to a public beach. So we all kind of said, no, we're not going to do that. Luckily,
How
though,
about no?
yeah.
And he waddled away.
Luckily, though, Costa Maya had like a little pool, or I can't say a little, they had a big pool set up for like everybody who wanted to come around. The only caveat was that the pool was free, but to use a beach chair, you had to order a drink, which I thought was weird.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, my dad, who had already been slamming back lime margarita after lime margarita all cruise long. Went, cool, I'll take 2 lime margaritas.
I didn't know your dad was such a fiend for damn.
And they came out with a big tourist like plastic cup, like one of those cups that like you'd see at like Las Vegas or New Orleans or whatnot. It's probably 3 feet tall. The thing probably carried, I'd say, a good 35 or 40 ounces of liquid.
Yeah, a good bit.
And we spent from like 10 in the morning until 2:30 just partying it up. I mean, it was fun. They had like an authentic Mexican place because at this point we're in Costa Maya, we're in Mexico. So they had
Hmm.
an authentic Mexican place right there with all the good eats. That is where me and Shelby tried cactus for the first time,
Yeah, and probably the last time too.
and probably the last time. What was your
It
experience with
wasn't
the
the fact it
cactus?
was. It wasn't the fact it was bad. It didn't really taste like anything, but the texture was just not good. The texture is what I imagine like paper mache would be like before it hardened. So I just dipped my paper in this glue water mixture, pulled it up, splashed it off, and just ate it.
That's honestly very accurate, if I had to say so. Because I just held the piece of cactus and I was gonna eat it, and my dad stopped me and he went, probably dip it in ranch. It doesn't really have a flavor. It just tastes like whatever you dip it in.
Yeah, see, I didn't get that. So at least you tasted ranch. I tasted nothing.
But
I
yeah, that
tasted
was,
texture. That's what I tasted.
and it was hard, but it had like a hard shell, but slimy on the inside. It was just weird all around.
Mm-hmm.
But the Costa Maya party, we partied for probably 5.5 hours just in the pool, getting drink after drink. Very stout, 35 or 40 ounce drinks. I mean, I had 2 of them, and I was feeling it.
Yeah, dude, I had 4.
Especially
8 pina
because
coladas, and then
we would get the frozen drinks, so strawberry daiquiris, pina colada, stuff like that,
mm-hmm.
which was really good at the beginning. But it was a hot day in Mexico, so the drinks would melt. And by the end of it, you're just looking down the cup, and at that point, you're just seeing straight, like, liquor
Yeah.
for probably 7 ounces after you had already drinking a lot of the drink as well. So yeah, that was a pretty fun day. We all got to party and whatnot. Go back, we all took our naps, partied the night away as well.
Mm.
Woke up for day 6, where we stopped off at Cozumel. And this is where me and Shelby did split ways.
Yep.
He had his excursion. We had my family of 4 went off to our excursion. I'll let you, I feel like I've been talking for a long time, so I'll let you explain your excursion and what you had and how much fun
Okay.
or not fun you had.
Okay. So our excursion consisted of me, my stepmom, and my stepbrother. So it was just the 3 of us, and we were scuba dive or not scuba diving, snorkeling. Snorkeling. We were snorkeling, and so it all started with us walking around the stores first. The stores were pretty cool. They were very, very insistent about you walking in their store. Like at all the other locations, they'd been like, "Hey, my friend, like come here," and you're like, "No, no, thanks." These guys will like yell it from across the little mall complex. Be like, "Hello, my friend," and they're like waving you in. I'm like, "No, no, no." And so it consisted of me and my girlfriend walking around for probably an hour before our excursion at 10. And by then we did all the shopping we needed, and I got some Folkleys, some fake Oakleys. They're great. They mesh my car and whatnot. And then we all lined up at our little excursion point where they would take you on a boat, right? And so the boat, there's probably I don't know, probably 20 people, right? And obviously, as classic family, we are the lively ones out of the bunch, right? So my stepbrother is like dancing to the music. My stepmom loves sharks. And our excursion was not only snorkeling, but also going to a stingray like facility where they rehabbed them and kind of like got them back to health and whatnot. And you got to swim with sharks, right? And so she is jonesing. I mean, she is hyped for this thing. And of course, I feed off their energy, so I'm just like bouncing, having a good time. And then we got to our snorkeling part, and they had us get on our little snorkeling headset, our goggles, and our breathe tube, a life vest that you can deflate with air and whatnot, and you just need to blow into this valve to air it up so you raise more. Or if you want to go deep into the water, you can take out the air so you're not fighting the air as well. And our flippers. Now, Nick and I were state swimmers. We swam all 4 years of high school. And we know when flippers came out, you're going to be feeling like Michael Phelps. Yes. And I don't mean to toot my own horn here, but I was easily the fastest motherfucker out there. I was out here putting on for the city, putting on for my coach. And, it was a very surreal thing of snorkeling because you never notice what's underneath you. And when I say that, the reason why I say that is because when you put on your goggles and you look straight down, there are fish inches from your face. And, these aren't like, no groupers, no big fish, but they're still fish regardless. And I mean, they are inches from your body because you're out in the ocean. So to me, that just says like, damn, if these fish are, this close off to the shore, because we're probably, I don't know, 100 yards maybe off the shore. So like not all that far when you break it down. And it was a super cool moment. We on probably like, I don't know, I'd say probably 20 feet maybe under the water, which is still like a good bit. Like that's nothing to wink at. You have to think like deep ends are 12 feet. But I could tell I was going deeper because my ears hurt. And that's why I came up. I was like, yep, nope, I'm done. But it was very cool. And then they loaded us up in the boat and took us over to the Stingray farm. And so on the way over there, there's this Mexican guy who was super cool. I mean, he had like frosted tips. Like, so there's 3 people. I don't remember the name of them, but there's like the adult, and he's like the captain. There's like the in between where he's like a fun guy but kind of quiet. And then there's this guy. I mean, this guy is the party. And you can tell by his frosted tips, he was having a blast. Dude drops his phone in the sea. And because we were all sitting in the back corner, and I hear, oh. Did you just drop your phone? He's like, see. And we're like, oh, no. So I made sure to give him some money for it. But I was like, damn, I've been there. And so we start driving about 10 more minutes, and the whole time, I mean, he's like, you can tell he's pretty bummed, but he's not gonna let that kill the party. And so we go to the Stingray thing. They kind of brief us, well, okay, this is how you do it, this is what you do, da, 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 da. And so there's these 3 giant pools. Now this is like off the ocean. Like, this is ocean water, right? So the waves fill and all that. It's just they're like fenced off. And so the first fence is the part that you got to touch the stingrays. And so they obviously don't have barbs or anything like that. And they were, teaching us things about the stingrays, about, how Steve Irwin died, like that people eat these stingrays. And there's actually a huge, like, decrease in stingrays because of the Steve Irwin incident, which I didn't even think about, but that's very true. And like I got pictures of me holding the stingray, obviously in water, but holding the stingray. And then there's a Mayan thing that if you kiss the stingray, you get 5 years of luck. So of course I kissed the stingray, like on the top flap, like on the top part of them. And
Nice.
then we got out and we got to put on our flippers back on and goggles and all that. And we got to go in the deep end. And then this deep end was deep. I mean, so like the snorkeling part was probably about 50 feet. This was at least 75. At least at the deepest part. I mean, it was deep. And when we're swimming, like, because the only stingrays I've like came in contact and sharks I've like I've seen them behind a tank, but like stingray enclosures, like there'll be some nurse sharks, and that's what these are. So I was like, oh, they're gonna be like the size of forearm. No, dude, these were 6 foot long sharks. 6 feet. Now I'm 6'2", and I'm pretty chunky, and this shark was like my build of solid muscle, like huge. I was not expecting less sharks. And when we're swimming, there was a damn barracuda, like just swimming out. And at the mangrove, so our first one in Honduras, that first tour, they said if you see a barracuda twice, leave the area because they're extremely aggressive. Like they'll fuck you up for no reason. Like they're pretty much like the yellow jackets of the ocean. And I popped my head up like, hey, is that a barracuda? He's like, yeah, it's just a baby one. Like, okay. So I went from don't mess with them. If you see them twice, leave, to swimming in a pool with one. And then there was also a pufferfish like in the corner, which was pretty cool. So I got to swim with sharks, stingrays, and that. But the stingrays too. So the big one at the zoo?
Yeah.
Like the big one. How big do you think that is? Probably like 4 foot? 4 foot in diameter?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that was the average size in this pool. They were massive, dude. And I mean, they were just like swimming around, having a blast. Like it was a very cool moment. And so we were in there for probably about 15 minutes. Like we got to see them feed the sharks, which was pretty cool and whatnot. And we got out, had some authentic Mexican food. And you know how like the white dude that can hella cook on the grill,
Yeah.
like the dad wears a New Balance and all that.
Yeah.
Now imagine the Mexican version of that, because that is exactly what we had. I mean, it had like the sandals, like the little button-up shirt that was all kind of like just stained with sweat. Just you can tell he's working. Had like leathery skin, all that, and dude, that was such good tacos. Such good tacos. And on the way out, the main like the guy, so like the in-between person, on the boat, the in-between guy that was like kind of soft-spoken, he was the one giving us, he said, hey, we're going to have some hermit crab races. And, he drew like a circle on the ground and like a smaller circle within. So the smaller circle is surrounded by a big circle. And the big circle is probably, I don't know, 2 foot maybe from the small circle. We're going to have hermit crab races. We pulled up a bowl of hermit crabs that we all get to pick one from. And I was the 10th one. And I was the last or there was 2 other hermit crabs. There's one that was super small. I mean, probably the size of your thumbnail. And then like one that was like probably twice that size. So still small, but not as. And I picked that one. And so we all, counted to 3 in Spanish. So we put him down. And then he said, you have to encourage it in Spanish because it's a Mexican hermit crab. And so the whole time there's a bunch of super white people saying, underlay, underlay, underlay. Just like tapping the ground. And the top 3 gets prizes, right? So my hermit crab came out of the gate pretty quick. And then it kind of like classic, like looked the other way, like, ooh. I was like, no, like, go. Like just tapping the ground. And then it like locked in. I mean, it went like full like LeBron game 6, right? And so my hermit crab starts crawling to the outside ring, gets second place, right? So I get a prize. And the only thing I can think of is how good of a start this race is. I get first,
Hell
first
yeah.
in the circuit, and then I get second in Mexico with these hermit crabs.
Let's
And so I
go.
got to try these little like it's called Moss Garden Salsa or I think it was a Garden Verde Tocinos chips, and they were so good. They were so good. I get why other countries don't like American food because it was so much better than like American chips. And then on the way back. So, this tour has been pretty informational and stuff like the guy who I said lost his phone, the life of the party, he grabbed a whistle, right? And so there's a boat or there's a restroom on the boat. One of the crew members went to the bathroom. Didn't think anything of it. Oh, okay, you gotta pee, whatever, I get it. Because we're in the back of the boat, he pokes his head out wearing a luchador mask. And I just looked at my stepbrothers like, what is gonna go on? Then the guy with the frosted tips starts blowing a whistle, right? And he turns up the music, just cranks that thing to I think the Cupid Shuffle. And then the luchador comes out and starts dancing, right? And so now it's like a whole ass party on this boat. And there's like the Cupid Shuffle, the electric slide, and all that. And he said he puts on tequila. He's like, it's tequila time. Reaches in the cooler. We're like, oh shit. Pulls out a Dr. Pepper. We're like, oh, that's funny. He's like, tequila! And he like reaches and pulls out a whole bottle of Mexican tequila and just starts pouring shots into people's mouths. And going from a nice resort or a nice excursion of watching stingrays, learning about stingrays, touching them, learning the importance of like keeping them safe. So now there's a dude in a damn luchador mask, a Mexican with frosted tips, pouring tequila into people's mouths while listening on full blast tequila over the speakers. It was electric. Like it went from a fun time to oh damn, all right, I can get down with this. And he poured tequila in all of our mouths. Obviously of age people, he would ask, but that tequila was so damn smooth, dude. Like tequila has like a
Yeah.
bite,
Yeah.
like a earthy bite. Dude, there was
Mm-hmm.
none of that. Like if he would tell me that he mixed it half with water, I would believe him. Like it was just so smooth. But
Nice.
other than that,
So that sounds like a good
that was ours.
excursion for you. Me
Mm-hmm.
and my family went off to swim with dolphins and have an all-inclusive food and drinks along with it. Obviously, the food and drinks came along after we got to swim with the dolphins. But with the dolphins, I'll keep this one sweet because we're kind of already over what we normally do time-wise, and we still have yet to talk about the NBA Finals. So kind of short and sweet on this one. The Dolphins was really cool. It started out as the dolphin would swim by and we'd all get to pet it and feel it and whatnot. And then after some time, all of us got to go out and the dolphin would come up and like give us a kiss on the cheek, and then it would go vertical just enough to where its fins would pop out of the water, and people got to like have like a handshake or whatnot with the dolphin. One
Mm-hmm.
of the coolest experiences we got to do was we got to swim out probably I'd say 30 yards or so, and the dolphin would come up and we'd get to like grab onto its fins, and the dolphin would swim us back to the shore. And the dolphin
That's so dope.
was fast. It probably
Yeah.
in for like the 30 yards, and it took some of us longer than others to swim out there. Not me. I'm a state swimmer. Just want to put that out there. I was out there pretty fast, but I was not as fast as a dolphin was at all. The dolphin second and a half, probably a second and a half, and then when you grabbed on, you definitely felt it because it was just all the water and whatnot was just in your eyes and whatnot, and you're just trying to hang on for dear life at that point. I
Yep.
remember my girlfriend got yelled at by the guy because she wouldn't let go of the dolphin because the
Oh, that's
dolphin
funny. I didn't know that.
was going so fast and all the water in her eyes and ears and whatnot, and she couldn't hear the guy saying "let go," so he just like progressively got louder and louder.
That's funny. So I looked it up. Dolphins can swim up to 30.
Up to 30
So that
what?
dolphin was probably 37 miles an hour. So that dolphin's probably going 30 miles.
We got the alpha dolphin, a male dolphin that was 6 feet tall, 600 pounds. Or no, not 6 feet tall because it was tall. 600 pounds is where I got the six from, but it was like 9 feet tall, 600 pounds. And so after we all swam, they gave us a chance to get a picture with like holding the dolphin by yourself or whoever you wanted to or whatnot. They also took pictures of it like kissing your cheek and giving you the ride and stuff like that as well. And then the dolphin trainer let us give the dolphin commands as well. So we'd like walk up to the edge and he'd have us do like a certain motion or whatnot with our hands and our arms. And then he'd tell the dolphin to look at us. And then we'd do the motion and the dolphin would swim out in the middle and jump up in the air and do like a trick.
That's so
So like
cool.
what I got to do was I got to uh put my hand like wave my hand in a circle and then shoot up with it and the dolphin did like front flips in the air. I know somebody did something to where the dolphin did like a corkscrew and stuff like that. And at the very end, all of the dolphin trainers like came together and gave us like a dolphin show where like all four dolphins were like in the air doing tricks at the same time and like stuff like that. So that was pretty cool.
Up
I had
the
a
normal weight for
blast.
a dolphin.
Huh.
The normal weight of a dolphin is 330 pounds to 1,400.
I believe it. They do not look big
So,
until they're right up on you.
yeah, I believe it.
I believe it. But so yeah, we got to see the dolphin show, which was really cool. And then afterwards, unlimited free drinks, unlimited free food. Sat down to some authentic Mexican nachos. Girlfriend got an authentic quesadilla. We kind of split between the two, but it was really good. And then
Yeah.
at the end, we got to go around do some shopping. I kind of got scammed out of $40. I'm not gonna lie. Because like you said,
Oh,
they were so persistent. I wouldn't say like he didn't scam me as like a bad thing, but like he was just kept he was a salesman and he kept going
yeah.
on and like was trying to get to like know our personal lives and whatnot and was asking my girlfriend like, oh, what do you do for a living? And he'd turn to me and say, oh, well, what do you do for a living? What are your names? Yada yada yada. So eventually I was just like, sure, I'll take these two bracelets. Just so I could
Okay.
like, all right,
Go away.
bye.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we stopped off. We got all the girlfriend's family some souvenirs, which they really enjoyed. I got a little key rack, something that I can hang up on the wall that has like little hooks in it to like hang up like lanyards or keys or
Oh, that's cool.
whatnot.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. But other than that, I thought swimming with dolphins was awesome. If you get the chance to do it, I would suggest to do it. And that was day 6. Day 7 was another day out at the sea where we pretty much just hung around the boat. None of us really drank that day because we had had so much alcohol the days before that we were all fine with soda and
Yeah,
water.
I was pretty stir crazy. I
And
was.
so that was kind of a low key kind of day. We went to an amazing concert. Went to a couple comedy clubs that they had on the boat. There was a Family Feud live where they took families on the boat audition to be on it. So me and my girlfriend went to that, which was really fun. Overall, Trip was really fun. However, I'm very happy to be home right now.
Yeah, no joke, dude. No
Okay.
joke. I I definitely recommend cruises, but just know you're gonna run out of stuff pretty quick.
Yeah, the about the sixth or seventh day, we it seemed like it was a family consensus that we were ready to be home. At like the end of the sixth
hmm
day, the seventh day, whatnot.
Yeah, for sure.
But so
For
with
sure.
that is how our cruise experience went. We're at an hour and 45 minutes right now, but we have to still talk about the NBA Finals.
Finals.
We
Luckily,
went,
there's not much to talk about.
yeah, yes.
That
So
finals was.
was awful. The Celtics have been the best team all
Yeah.
year, and they showed it. They had one of the best winning percentages of all time, basically going like 82 and 21 or something like that, but throughout the whole year. It's
hmm
something close to that. Um, they essentially gentlemen swept the Mavericks. They put it on for the
Yeah.
first 3 games. They let Mavericks have game 4, so in that way the Celtics could win at game 5. And that's exactly what happened.
Exactly what happened. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Celtics have been the best team in basketball. It did not. It was shocking to me because of how hot the Mavericks were. I mean, both me and you said Mavericks were going to win it in 7, and were utterly
Yeah.
wrong.
I I think looking back at it, and maybe this is hindsight 2020. Like I stand by what I said. Like I back down from it. But hindsight is the Celtics. I mean, they're just insanely good.
Yeah,
And I think I was just more so wanting and hoping the Mavericks win rather than like truly getting in my back thinking. Because I think if I would have like truly put biasness to the side, I think I would have went Celtics.
I don't know. I definitely wanted the Mavericks to win as well, but at the same time, I try my hardest to put biasness aside anyway. And so that's why, like, biasness aside, I took Mavericks over the Thunder. Biasness aside, I took Mavericks over the Timberwolves as well.
hmm
And so, I mean, I was sticking with the Mavericks because I'd watched them all playoffs long, and I thought that they had been, like, battle tested and battle ready for the finals. But ultimately, what had happened is they had run out of steam. That had been an
That's
engine that had been running on fuel the entire time, and then when they got to the finals, they were on E.
yeah, and that's kind of my fear with that too. Yeah, they've been battle tested and stuff like that, but also that scars on you
Yeah,
when you get there. I mean, you have Luca who's notoriously out of shape, and then you have injuries that happen, and so yeah, it wasn't the best recipe to say the least.
yeah. So the Maverick, or I keep wanting to say the Mavericks, but it's not the Mavericks. It's the Celtics. The Celtics win in 5. Jaylen Brown wins Finals MVP. I did my journalistic duties, talked to a couple Celtics fans because I wanted to know their stance on the whole Jason Tatum not a very good playoff performer that's been going around.
hmm
They've been saying that they've been defending Jason Tatum. One of them even went as far to say that he thought that he should have been Finals MVP.
Okay.
But ultimately, Jaylen Brown wins Finals MVP. Celtics win their 18th championship, becoming
Most in history.
most in history.
My 2 cents on Tatum not getting finals is it feels very Iggy status, where when you look at what Luca wasn't able to do in the finals because of Jalen Brown and just his tenacity and all that, I think that was the most important. I think he was the most valuable player, because Tatum led his team in points, assists, and rebounds the whole playoffs. So I do think that Jalen Brown being honestly, it's like 1A, 1B for first options. Like
Yeah.
they kind of switch. Not like Luka or Kyrie, where it's pretty obvious between halves. I mean, it can be at any moment they just become second fiddle to each other, which is pretty cool. But I think even with that being said, of Tatum having technically the better statistical finals, I mean, Jaylen Brown doing what he did to Luka, I mean, taking him out of the game. I mean, it's someone that you didn't think was schemable against in Luka. I mean, Jaylen Brown played his damn ass off. So I think it was deserving. But also about Tatum, did you see? So I made a note on the podcast. I like Tatum. I think he's a good dad, and to me, being a good dad matters a lot, no matter what profession you're in. But that dude is corny, dude.
Jason
Some of
Tatum
this shit.
tried his
Oh my god,
hardest to have an iconic moment to where like he tried to recreate the Kevin Garnett screaming into the air thing, and he tried to recreate
yes.
the Kobe picture with the trophy and whatnot.
I wouldn't
But
say that was Kobe
honestly,
though.
but
Truly,
honestly, the most iconic thing that Jason Tatum did was when he wasn't trying to be. I mean, there's a picture out there where Jason Tatum is like crying and whatnot, and he finds Deuce and he throws Deuce Tatum up into the air, and somebody caught that picture of Tatum throwing Deuce up into the air with like all the green and white confetti behind him.
dude, there
That
was
is the best
so much
picture.
goddamn confetti.
Yeah, there was, yes. But that is the best
Dude, that
picture,
dude.
and that was like the most iconic thing that you can do for the Tatum family.
Yeah, yeah, like I said, he seemed like an amazing dad. And to me, that Kobe picture wasn't very like to Kobe. I think what makes Tatum get a bad rap is the fact that he texted Kobe and then took a picture of it. Oh, like after he passed and all that, like he had his number and he texted him. Corny. The fact that he was trying to say like dropped on finish just like Kobe, corny. I don't think that photo is very Kobe. I mean, he was obviously like he was happy. He was son. Like it was just the picture itself wasn't Kobe, but because of what Tatum does on a regularly basis, made it Kobe.
Yeah. But with that being said, this episode has been a little bit long. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode, however, though. Kind of expect more things like this, where it's not so much sports takes as football season is still a couple weeks away from starting, and basketball season's just now finishing and stuff like that. So we're kind of in that weird little middle area. But me and Shelby
Yep.
still want to pump out some of these podcasts as we enjoy doing them.
Oh, for sure.
So
We're probably looking at more game
yeah, more game,
lists potentially.
yeah, more game type things, a little bit of trivia here and there,
Hmm.
lists, stuff like that, stories that we like to tell each other, just things like that. Um, expect those in the upcoming weeks until kind of football season starts coming around. But we
Hmm.
appreciate each and every one of you guys who takes time out of your day to listen to us. We're glad that you stuck through us in between the breaks, but we are back and we're ready to go.
Back at it like a crack addict. And Nick knows a lot about that.
If you liked this video, make sure to hit the like button. If you find anything that you didn't like, that you did like, that you agreed with, that you didn't agree with, that you really disliked, if you think Shelby's is not so smart, put that in the comments. As somebody put that Shelby has a good way of thinking in last week's or in the last video, and well, some of us might not feel that way. So if you're one of the ones that feel that way, put it in the comments.
No, surely I have pretty good thinking, right, guys?
So,
All right, guys, defend me in the comments. Defend my honor.
or make fun of his honor. Either way, put it in the comments. Hit that like
Comment.
button.
That's what I'm
So
getting at.
yeah, subscribe if you enjoy it. We thank all of you guys for listening, and we will see you all next week.
Bye bye.